Hi guys, it's Elisa at Moat Cottage, and today we're going to be in the vegetable garden. We're halfway through spring and I feel like we're over the frost risk now, and if we do get a frost I'll just have to cover up my plants that I put in. We've got the end of the winter garden still in, and some things like the garlic and leeks, spring onions, that sort of thing will be left in. And I probably will keep the kale and silver beet in until it's finished, because it's still going quite well and there's no sign of the white moth bothering it just yet. So before we even get into the garden, I've got some purple beans dehydrating in nature. So the seed pods are in there and I'll be able to plant them. They've stayed there throughout the whole of the winter. And then we've got our spring onions that we planted 2 years ago and our garlic chives. So it's looking like we really need to pick them, use them up, what's left in there, and just clean that up and start again. And then we have the sad strawberries, which need some love. So I'll need to give them a good feed and a good water, and then hopefully we'll have a nice crop of strawberries. It's not a huge space, but we do have fencing all the way up so that we can grow things up the fences as well. So it's not just what we have as floor space. Here are the garlics we planted earlier in the year. They're doing really well and they're about to go to flower. That will be the flower head. We'll give the tomatoes a good water so that the roots are happy when we go to transplant them. They'll have already had a nice drink. I'm going to cut the bottom leaves off the tomato plant and plant the plant in a lot deeper so that the roots can come out of those cuts, as well as having the roots at the bottom, which will help in the middle of summer because we don't get much rain, and it will help make the plant stronger, more secure in the ground, and then it'll have more roots to get all the water and nutrients that it needs. You can't do this with every plant, but you can with tomatoes. I've added plenty of calcium in the form of eggshells to the ground so that the tomatoes won't get end rot. I also did that where I'll be planting zucchinis as well. I'll just tease the roots out a little bit. And it's always a good idea to label everything you plant in the vegetable garden, because you either forget that it's there if it's something that's under the ground and you're planting direct seed, or you forget what variety it is because you just never remember. So I always label everything. If it's my own seedlings, I have plastic labels that I write on and I just reuse them every year. I bought these, so they came with labels. All 5 tomato plants are in the ground and I will start tying them up to the stakes as soon as they start getting big enough. And hopefully we'll get lots of tomatoes this year. The reason I've chosen Roma and the rest all cherry varieties is because we get fruit fly here, and I find that they grow quick enough before the fruit fly actually gets them. So they seem to do a lot better than the great big varieties I was growing. I was growing some huge varieties and they were doing really well, but they were getting the fruit fly in them before they even started to turn red. They weren't even starting to turn. So I was throwing them out, and I mean, these plants were growing right up to the top of the trellises. They were fantastic, but it was just devastating when we obviously couldn't get the fruit. Let me know in the comments below which variety grows best in your area. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.